Welcome to Week 2, Introductory Reading and Vocabulary. This will be an introduction to previewing. Take a minute to think by yourself, in your opinion, or from your own experience, what does it mean to preview a reading text? I'll give you a minute to think about that. What does it mean to preview a reading text? Pre-reading strategies. The few minutes you spend preparing before reading any difficult material can motivate you to read it, as well as increase your ability to understand and remember what you read. Think about it like this. When you're driving to a new place, you would probably look at a map first, or at least turn on your GPS, so you don't waste time getting lost. Personally, I always turn on my GPS. I don't use maps. Similarly, when you approach a new academic reading, it's best to use the 4 P's. So what are the 4 P's? Purpose, preview, prior knowledge, and predict. This way you don't struggle as much to figure out what the authors want to say or how they plan to say it. Preparing to read can also help you estimate how long you'll take to read so you can plan your time more efficiently. So let's look at previewing. What is it? Previewing is a strategy that readers use to recall prior knowledge and set a purpose for reading. It calls for readers to skim a text before reading, looking for various features and information that will help as they return to read it in detail later. Why should you use previewing? According to research, previewing a text can improve comprehension. Previewing a text helps readers prepare for what they are about to read and set a purpose for reading. The genre determines the reader's methods for previewing. Readers preview nonfiction to find out what they know about the subject and what they want to find out. It also helps them understand how an author has organized information. Readers preview biographies to determine something about the person in the biography, the time period, and some possible places and events in the life of the person. So this was discussing nonfiction and biographies. Readers preview fiction to determine characters, setting, and plot. They also preview to make predictions about a story's problems and solutions. How to use it? When readers preview a text before they read, they first ask themselves whether the text is fiction or nonfiction. If the text is fiction or biography, readers look at the title, chapter headings, introductory notes, and illustrations for a better understanding of the content and possible settings or events. Personally, for me, I always look at the illustrations first and then the title, and I try to connect the title to the illustrations. If the text is nonfiction, readers look at text features and illustrations and their captions to determine subject matter and to recall prior knowledge to decide what they know about the subject. Previewing also helps readers figure out what they don't know and what they want to find out. Previewing a text is similar to watching a movie preview. Think of previewing a text as similar to watching a movie trailer. A successful preview for either a movie or a reading experience will capture what the overall work is going to be about. Generally, what expectations the audience can have of the experience to come, and how the piece is structured and what kinds of patterns will emerge. Previewing engages your prior experience and asks you to think about what you already know about this subject matter, or this author, or this publication. Then you anticipate what new information might be ahead of you when you return to read this text more closely. The 4 P's. Number 1, purpose. Determining your reading goals can help motivate you to read. It will also determine how carefully you need to read and what reading strategies you can use. Are you looking for general main ideas or specific details, or both? Are you going to discuss what you read in class, take a test, use what you read in an essay, or are you just reading for pleasure? How does this reading task connect the unit or the whole course? Number 2 is preview. Spend a few minutes looking at visual clues to the author's central idea, supporting points, and organization of ideas. Depending on the type of reading, look at some or all of the following elements: title, headings and subheadings, introductory information about the author and/or the reading, first and last paragraphs. Before you read the first and last paragraphs. First sentence of body paragraph, so that's the first sentence of every paragraph. Anything in italics, bold print, numbers and symbols. Photos, images, diagrams, and charts. This is where I personally usually start. Comprehension questions or other after reading assignment. This way you can focus on the questions that you need to answer. Number 3 is prior knowledge. What do you already know about this topic? Using your own background knowledge and experiences can help stimulate your interest and increase your comprehension. Predict. After previewing a text, a reader can begin to make guesses about what the writer wants to say. These predictions are important in motivating you and keep you focused while reading. I often write my questions and my predictions down after I have thought about my prior knowledge. Use the SQ3R strategy. One strategy you can use to become a more active, engaged reader is the SQ3R strategy. This is a step-by-step process to follow before, during, and after reading. You may already be using some variation of it. In essence, the process works like this. Number 1, survey the text in advance, and we already talked about that. Look at the pictures, the title, the subheadings, the first and last paragraph, the first sentence of every paragraph. Form questions before you start reading, and I would write these questions down so you can try to answer them while you're reading. Read the text. Try to find the answers to your questions. Recite and/or record important points during and after the reading. And this is where I make an extra R because I think reciting the important points are important and then recording them as well. I wouldn't say or, I would say and. Review and reflect on the text after you read. So that's it about previewing. I hope you learned a few things. Thank you. We'll see you the next time in class. And remember, you can watch this video as many times as you need. It's always here for you, and I'm always here for you too. Can't wait to see you next. Bye.